Hey guys, so I'm meeting up with Steven Silver today. He is an amazing character designer, great teacher. I took a workshop from him a while back, and today we're gonna meet up and sketch some people at a coffee shop.
All right. So I'm just gonna start talking about what I'm just kind of doing here. When I'm sketching people, I'm just trying to find just ideas. Because there's always going to be something that captures them, and usually I might even just like focus on. I might see someone's teeth. So I might even just focus with that. All of a sudden, I just see their top lip just coming out and doing something in almost like that buck tooth area thing, and then I'm just going to build up a character on top of that. It's that quick sort of inspiration. I'm looking at this guy walking by right now with the white shirt that's walking by, and when I looked at that guy, he just had this really long neck. So now I'm just kind of looking at that real long neck, and then now it's just a lot of the memory sketching, making up, like, again, what was my impression. And it's something that it's like I'm always even just tell my students is don't get so caught up in the details. Just block in the masses. It's almost just like painting, right? Where you're just kind of blocking in those big block shapes, and then you can make something up from there. So now I got an impression, and maybe I might use this guy one day for a character in a show or something where, I just want to draw like a long neck, skinny little teenager. But now it's just about the feeling. It's just that feeling, just eyeballing. So look, a lot of these people looking over going, what are they doing? It's like I'm looking at that girl over there, she's cleaning. But again, I can see she's got all these different things, but now I just like looking at those shapes. So I'm breaking down my character into just a few different shapes. I got my head shape, my big body mass shape, and then I'll get my little leg shapes in there. But now I can determine, like, okay, she's kind of got like an underbite. So that was like this little initial thing that I saw. And then now that I've blocked in my shapes here, what's fun about it, I'm always just trying to find a twist in my body. I don't want to make everything straight. So now I know I got my head going in that direction. Well, maybe I'm going to throw my arms over here a bit and put the center of her shirt over there, just to give it just a little bit of a twist. And then she had some little gloves on. She had a broom, but now I can make stuff up. You know what the beauty about drawing in sketchbooks are? No one's ever going to look at them. No one's going to point you out and go, she wasn't doing that. She wasn't in that position. It's just like that. No, yeah, she wasn't, but I can make something up out of it. So that's where I just loose. These just become the ideas. A lot of people on their cell phones, and I try to avoid that because I've noticed, I was looking through some of my old sketchbooks and noticed that people were just always, people used to just stare and people watch all the time while they're reading newspapers. Now everyone's on their cell phone. So even though they're on their cell phone, I don't want to necessarily capture it. I just want to capture their clothes they're wearing, an idea. Because I'll come back and I can almost, in a sense, animate people afterwards. I like to look at the way things hang, like clothing. I think that's very important. Just trying to capture that. Gravity's going to pull t-shirts and everything down, pull things out. Kind of like see that girl sitting there, and she's just got a bag strapped around her. Curious as to how that wraps around the body. The guy's wearing his hat backwards. Interesting. A lot of his forehead was showing. So I just saw he had big eyebrows. And so that was the first thing that I noticed were his eyebrows. But then I also noticed that he had a lot of space between his nose and his mouth. And so I would just start with that. Start with the eyebrows, then I start with that, and then I build up the character around it. Again, it's always about just the first impression. It's so much using my memory is, I think, that the habit that I've really built up and from drawing in my sketchbook so much is relying on that. It's really helped me as a character designer. Like this guy, I love this guy who would like no chin, and he's got his big white mustache and he's leaning over. Oh, it's funny looking at people are so nervous. Like they spot me just sort of like drawing here and they're looking over. Uh-oh, are they looking at me? Are they trying to do something? Hopefully, it just picked up this kid that I saw, and his head looked just giant to me, and he did have these big eyes. And sometimes that can be a cliche where you're just throwing these huge eyes on kids, but some kids do have these, really huge eyes, and his lips were a lot bigger, and that becomes the impression. Again, I'll start off with, it looks like a peanut shape. I get like a little peanut shape in there. I try to force angles as much as possible. That's like where I find the most life comes from. So now I got that initial sketch. Now I'm just gonna hit sort of things really quickly and just get some impression ideas, these angles. I'm never tracing. But he kind of had like this little bit of a monkey face. And those are just like the little fun things to look for. Just those little attitudes, little subtlety. And the thing that I find too is so helpful is don't beat yourself up and ever try to think that you didn't capture that kid or that person or it didn't look just like them. I don't think that's the purpose of the sketchbook. And I'm using it's called a Progresso woodless color pencil. And I found it in my bag, and I don't know where I got it from, but I love it. It's just nice and bold and chunky, and I like that. Looking at these people going by, this guy with his hat backwards and his mustache. That woman sitting over there is interesting. Her eyes look so close together. That's like the initial impression, so I might just draw like almost like a little block in my shapes. She's got like a rat's nest on the top of her hair there. That's kind of fun. She's got a turtle neck, so it just goes straight into her neck, so she looks like a turtle just a little bit. The most important thing too, you got to wear glasses. You got to wear glasses that cover, because that's the secret behind it all. You can't do this. I think what happens if you're not wearing glasses, you become self-conscious that people are looking at, oh my God, they spotted my eyes and they're looking at me. But that's why I wear glasses, because now they don't know if I'm looking at them, and I could be looking at them right now, but I'm kind of looking at the camera, but I'm actually looking very far off to the left, but you don't know it, and I can just sort of keep drawing someone else. And that's how you do it. And another secret is, you always got to make sure if you're looking at someone, you're eyeballing them and you think they're onto you, and all of a sudden they've noticed you drawing them. What you have to do is keep looking at them, but bob your head to the left and right. So it's like they're blocking your view, like, hey, get out my way. And then all of a sudden they relax and don't feel like you're just drawing them. So that's another little secret getting out. After drawing so many years doing this, you got to find the little shortcuts, the things that help you not get in trouble. But now I kind of want to get just a little bit more caricature and fun. And now I'm starting to mess with everything. Again, angles I've found are the secret. When you can incorporate just different contrasting angles, that's to me what I've found, like all that life and energy comes into your drawing. It makes a huge difference. So that's it. That's enough information for me. That's all I kind of need. Sometimes I'll get crazy and just try to force different angles. Otherwise, that's not always my goal. I'm not so always worried about the direction that the head's sort of tilting, but it's happening all the time to the people. So if you can, it's helpful. Like when I'm looking at this woman eating her ice cream right in front of me, right here, and she's got a high forehead through there and her glasses on, but I'm noticing she's in conversation and her head is just kind of like tilting a lot. So that's something that I might just try to find, that tilt. Think, you always got to be conscious of the ears. I think are the most important thing to try to find to help you get that real tilt going. So I know that I'm moving my ears upwards through there. That's going to help me. Almost like look at the eyes like they're dumbbells. They look like dumbbells. And once I establish my dumbbell shape in there, I'm kind of good to go. She's got a little tiny nose. She's eating her ice cream, yapping. So her eyebrows are very high. She's in conversation. Very expressive. I make my own sketchbooks whenever I can because it gives me just a variety of all different types of paper and textures that I can use if I want to use red paper. So now in this sketchbook, I'll slow it down a bit where I won't do as many bundle of drawings. Look for someone that's jumping out at me. See this guy walking by right there, he just walked by, but his body attitude and his posture, you know, I just love that. So, and his neck was just coming down and I want to block in that shape through there. His shirt was going all the way down and he had like hair sticking back there. Now this is where I got to try to recall it as quickly as possible. He had long shorts. He had white socks on. His hands were just sort of like hanging down and drooping like a gorilla. His face, now I just want to turn his face. This is where I'm looking at pushing things. I got my body going one way. This is kind of fun, seeing what I come up with here. Again, it doesn't represent that character. And I'm doing that. This is coming down now. Almost created a whole different look and feel to this guy, and that's kind of fun. There's different, and I'm thinking about pushing my proportions a bit. I like the idea that that nose is big. He almost looks like a little Muppet, almost a little bit of a Cro-Magnon head. See, the beauty is maybe even the camera didn't capture him exactly, but hey, we get to see a whole different design and draw and sort of build off that. So now I'm slowing it down. Get your blocking, you get your gesture in there, then start thinking about your forms and details lost. That's it. This is where I might start to get into my little bit of a design phase where I'm just sort of like throwing random shapes. All I'm just trying to do is contrast my shapes. But this guy will show his face again in some television show somewhere because I have to come up with incidental characters all the time. So now I just want to get hard. Now I start to think about those fingers, just blocking in that shape where those knuckles might be. Again, I'm maybe pushing the contrast. Now, because of all this pinching I'm doing, it's making it feel like he's squeezing his whole body down a lot more, getting more of an arc there, getting more of a pinch on that side. That feels fun. I think I'm just trying to find fun. He was wearing a t-shirt which was a little bit longer on him. Yeah, I'm not worried about shadows or anything right now, but sometimes I like to have fun and feel like what the texture is going to be for this paper. So this texture on this paper is really cool. Anyway, that's fine. You know, for me on this one, I can like jump ship at this point. I feel like I got enough information. It was kind of fun, gave that impression. I don't want to miss out on all the people that are kind of around me. Yeah, at times I'm just shooting for a whole profile too, where I'll start with an arc on my face with the profile, even though I know I'm going to fit my face in there. I'll start with that, and that becomes my guide. I also think you can kind of loosen up once you've given yourself the just discipline a bit of drawing like a real human head and learning how to draw. Not all the muscles. I personally don't know all the muscles in the face, but I know the basics, so it helps me make things a little bit more constructed, and I think that's very useful as opposed to just going into this without having any knowledge.
Hey guys, so obviously that was a great demo by Steven Silver. If you want to learn more about his drawing process, he has a book coming out soon. There's a Kickstarter campaign where you can go help fund the book. I'll link to it down below the video. So please go support Steven and click that subscribe button for more awesome drawing videos.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.